In this video, we are going to write linear equations using the point-slope formula. And our goal today is actually going to be writing the equations of the line in slope-intercept form, but we're going to be given 2 points. So let's take a look at how to do this. So we are still working on our standard of being able to write equations of lines given any type of information. Just to review, we've talked about the slope-intercept form as y equals mx plus b, where on a graph, we've been able to identify that slope and y-intercept and put it into the equation, or we've been able to go the other way. We've also talked about the point-slope formula, where we're plugging in a point, like any point, and the slope. So that point doesn't necessarily have to be the y-intercept like it does with our other formula. Today, we're going to be given just 2 points and then asked to write it in slope-intercept form. So here are the steps, just kind of before we head into examples, and I'll review this again at the end. The first thing we're going to need to do is actually find the slope of our line. Then we're going to plug the information into our point-slope formula. And last, we're going to solve for y. So here's our first example. Write in a slope-intercept form the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points, 2, 4, and 5, negative 2. The first thing we need to recognize is, what is it asking us, which formula is it asking us to write in? So it's asking us to write in slope-intercept form. That's important. Because now we need to think about, okay, if we need it in y equals mx plus b, we need to know the y-intercept, and we need to know the slope. Next, take a look at what information did they give you? Did they give you anything that you need? Well, they gave us 2 points, and neither of those 2 points is the y-intercept. So we're kind of stuck. So here's what we're going to do. First, we can find the slope. So we know how to find the slope from 2 points. So we're going to subtract our y coordinates in the numerator and subtract our x coordinates in the denominator. So I'm going to do negative 2 minus 4, and then in the denominator, 5 minus 2. I'm going to change that subtraction in the numerator, add the opposite. So negative 2 plus negative 4 is negative 6. And then I didn't change the subtraction to add the opposite in the denominator because it's 5 minus 2, which is 3. Let's simplify that ratio. Negative 6 over 3 in simplest form would be negative 2. So now we know our slope is negative 2. Okay, so we have 2 points and we have slope. We still don't have that y-intercept, so that's kind of the problem that we have. So let's put it into the point-slope formula. So we can use either point. Let's just use the first one. And we're going to use the 2, 4 with our slope. So this is just like what we did in the previous video in our previous lesson. So we're going to put in 2 and 4 for x1 and y1. We're going to put in negative 2 for our slope. Now we're going to solve for y, which means we're going to do the distributive property. So we get y minus 4 equals negative 2x plus 4. And then the last step we need to do to solve for y is to add 4 to both sides. We get y equals negative 2x plus 8. And now that our equation is solved for y, we have y equals mx plus b. We have y equals negative 2x plus 8, where negative 2 is our slope, which is the same slope that we got previously, and 8 should be the y-intercept. Now, I want to do this a second time. It's the same problem, but I want to show you that you can actually use the other point, the 5, negative 2. So here's just another way. So now I'm going to pick the point 5, negative 2. We're going to plug that information in just like before. So our first step, we're plugging that in. The x1 and y1 are 5 and negative 2, and our slope is negative 2. The first step we do now to solve for y is the distributive property. So it's the same steps solving for y. We're going to do the distributive property first. Y plus 2 equals negative 2x plus 10. And then we're going to subtract 2 to both sides, or add negative 2 to both sides. we get y equals negative 2x plus 8. So using the other point and the slope, we put it into the point slope formula, solve for y, we still get the same answer. So it doesn't matter which point you choose, you're going to pick a point and the slope and then plug that into the point slope formula and solve for y. Now, if you get stuck or if you want a way to check your work, you should always be able to go to a graph. Like, okay, I have no idea what to do, or let me just check. Does this work? So we're going to go back to that original information, 2, 4, and 5, negative 2. And if you're pretty confident that you found the slope correctly, you could use that information too. So let's start by plotting those 2 points. So 5, negative 2, and 2, 4. And then we're going to draw a line through those 2 points. Now, this is where your accuracy, so if you've been practicing being really careful and accurate with your graphs, then you should be able to notice exactly where it crosses the y-axis. So if my line is drawn accurately, I should have it be crossing at 8. So one of the things that might help you is that slope. The slope can help you make sure that your line is being drawn accurately. If you didn't find it previously, you could just count on the graph, find your slope, use that negative 2 to rise negative 2, to go up 2 into the left one, up 2 to the left one, until you get where it crosses that y-axis. So this is how we would check our work. So it does cross at 8. I made sure I was accurate in my graph. And then I can plug that into y equals mx plus b. So our slope is negative 2. Our y-intercept is 8. And now we have our equation. So just another way to think about it and check your work. So that is the end of our video. We are writing equations in slope-intercept form given any 2 points. And we will be using that point slope formula. So here's kind of an overview of what we just did. It doesn't matter which point you use. So pick the point that is the easiest for you to work with. Do you just want to work with both positive numbers so that you plug those in correctly? Or maybe you're looking for, maybe one of them has a 0 in it. Maybe you have an intercept. Or maybe the x and the y coordinate are exactly the same and you can plug those in and you know you're not going to put them into the wrong spot. So those are just all things to think about. But in the end, it doesn't matter. Pick a point, plug it in with the slope, and then solve for y. Okay, we'll get the same answer no matter which way we do it. Here's just a review of the steps we did in this example. We knew 2 points, so we had to find the slope first. Then we took one of those points in the slope and put it into the point slope formula. And then we solved for y so that our answer was in y equals mx plus b form. All right, guys, have a great day. I will see you next time.